YouTube, what is going on? It is sports culture. As you see, different type of video. I'm on the tier maker, and I'm going to be ranking every quarterback on this list from the S tier, the A tier, the B tier, the C tier, the rookie slash too early to tell. So I'll probably put guys like, Caleb Williams, obviously the rookie quarterbacks, maybe Trey Lance, the D tier, and the F tier. So without further ado, man, let's get right into this. I know this video is going to be very debateful, not going to be able to please everybody, but this is why I'd rank everybody in my humble opinion. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First quarterback on the list, we're starting off very controversial, Tua, and I'm going to put Tua at B tier. I think he's front of the line B tier, maybe borderline A tier, but I think talent-wise, there's a lot of better quarterbacks in the NFL. Doesn't really raise the ceiling of that offense. I think he's a phenomenal pocket passer quarterback, really quick and decisive, could get through his reads very well, fairly accurate across the middle of the field, but outside of that, talent-wise, one of the worst arms in terms of arm power. Doesn't do well when pressure gets to him, so for that reason, he's a B. I think he's in a phenomenal situation. Obviously, people will look up stats, and he did have a lot of yards, had phenomenal stats last year, but a really, really good situation, probably the best situation for a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is borderline A tier. You could definitely put him at B tier, but I think Trevor Lawrence, talent-wise, is better than Tua. I know people will go up based off stats, but when you watch film, I thought Trevor Lawrence was able to make plays. There was a lot of missed opportunities from his wide receivers, especially his wide receiver 1 and Calvin Ridley. And I thought he played fairly well. I know people will go based off stats, but I thought he played fairly well when I watched the film. We were expecting more of a leap year, but it is what it is. Trey Lance, too early to tell. Hasn't played that many consistent games for me to really rank him. Derek Carr, C tier, but he's leaning more towards D tier. I'm a huge Derek Carr fan. He came from Fresno State. I'm from the area. Watched him and Devontae Adams kill it. This dude has been terrible ever since he got injured for the Raiders that one year. That one year they actually went to the playoffs when he clinched him a playoff spot. When he got injured, though, has been playing super scared. Has some of the worst footwork. When pressure gets to him, makes some erratic plays. Really, really inaccurate outside the numbers. Yeah, C tier, maybe D tier. Sam Darnold, D tier. He's been given opportunities. I do think he's probably going to be a C tier guy midway through the season, but right now he's D tier. Kyler Murray, A tier. I'd take him over Trevor Lawrence. Hasn't really been on the field that much, but talent-wise, phenomenal player. Maybe not the greatest playing in structure, but what he's able to do with his legs and his arm when he gets out of the pocket makes him a really good quarterback. Zach Wilson, F tier, don't need to explain. Josh Allen, S tier, really don't need to explain. Trevor Lawrence, what am I talking about? CJ Stroud, really just blew that one right there. CJ Stroud, A tier. I think it's too early to put him in the S tier, but he's easily going to be an S tier guy. Dak Prescott, I'm going to put him over C.J. Stroud right now. Dak Prescott over C.J. Stroud right now just because he's been doing it longer. I think Dak Prescott is still a very good quarterback, easily a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Maybe should have won MVP last year. I would have threw my money on Dak Prescott. I know they didn't play that well against down the stretch, I guess you could say. Really didn't play that well, or didn't play well at all against the Packers, but I thought he was either the MVP or easily the second in running for MVP. Baker Mayfield is B tier. I think he's better than a C tier guy. He's proven it now. Still a very solid quarterback. Caleb Williams, top of the rookie list. One of the best situations in the NFL. Justin Herbert is an S tier player. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care that he hasn't accomplished as much as some of these other guys. He's an S tier player, talent-wise, what he's able to do. I had the chance to watch this guy in person. Just one of the best quarterbacks, talent-wise, in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to put him in front of Dak Prescott at the A tier. I think Aaron Rodgers, yes, we haven't seen him play football in a really long time. It's been 2 years. I know he had 4 snaps last year and played some in the preseason, but we haven't seen him play consistently in about 2 years. But I'm going based off his resume, talent-wise, what he's been able to do. Still one of the best arms in the NFL, deadly accurate. It's hard to, make this guy look like an amateur out there. I mean, he's literally a living legend out there. One of the best minds in the NFL in terms of, taking apart a defense. So, A tier for now. Could definitely go S tier. That's Aaron Rodgers. Mac Jones, F tier. Don't need to explain. I'm going to put Jalen Hurts in front of all these guys at A tier right now. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys in A tier, but I think Jalen Hurts, just because of what he's been able to do, I know he had a down year last year, but I still think Jalen Hurts is on his way to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. He already is. Had a little bit of a down year last year, but I expect him to bounce back. Has a phenomenal, supporting cast around him. Him and Saquon Barkley are going to be dynamic. Kirk Cousins, I put Kirk Cousins behind C.J. Stroud right now. I thought Kirk Cousins actually, the way he was playing before the injury, was MVP like. I thought, if he would have played that way without getting injured, I mean, he would have. The Vikings would have made the playoffs, no doubt. Kirk Cousins would have stayed healthy, and I thought Kirk Cousins, could have had a shot at winning MVP if he would have stayed healthy, just because of what he was producing those first couple of games before he got injured. Rightfully so, deserves to be an A tier. Lamar Jackson, I don't really need to say much. He's S tier. I take Lamar Jackson over Justin Herbert. The most dynamic player in the NFL. Anthony Richardson, I'm going to put him behind Caleb Williams. I know he played phenomenal those first 4 games. I think he's going to be an absolute superstar, but just a little too early to tell. Kenny Pickett, I take Kenny Pickett over Sam Darnold right now. That's just me. I take Kenny Pickett over Sam Darnold. We'll see throughout the season, but that's how I feel. I'm going to put Michael Penix Jr. behind Anthony Richardson. I think Michael Penix Jr., when he gets the opportunity, is going to be set up for success. I think he was the most pro-ready quarterback in the NFL. I thought he deserved to be starting for, a team like the Raiders or just a team that needed a quarterback. And he's going to be very good in the NFL once he gets the opportunity. Drake May, not the greatest opportunity, or not the greatest situation, for Drake May. But I think the Patriots are building around him nicely. I like the receivers they brought in this year's draft. And let's just see how the season goes for Drake May. But I don't think his situation is better than a Michael Penix Jr. or Caleb Williams. Joe Flacco is, I don't know, C tier, I guess. He's serviceable. Next guy on the list, Drew Lock. And I'm going to go C tier. I take Drew Lock over Joe Flacco right now. I think, in my opinion, man, I think Drew Lock is actually a very solid quarterback. I think he's shown flashes. I just think he needs to start consistently, to really see what he's about. I might actually put him in the too early to tell just because, me personally, man, I don't know. I know he's had some opportunities, but they weren't the greatest opportunities. He's shown some flashes with the Seahawks. And, I still think he could be a very good quarterback in the NFL, at least a solid one or a serviceable one. So for that reason, I'm going to just put him at C tier because I definitely take him over Kenny Pickett and Sam Darnold. But I think he's played more than enough games to be in this category right here. So I'm going to put him at C tier, probably the borderline end of C tier. Bryce Young, right now, Bryce Young off of one season. I'm putting him at the top of the C tier. I want to put him at B tier, but I thought he played phenomenal. Wasn't in literally probably the worst situation in the NFL. His receiver core was terrible. No one could get separation. Jonathan Mingo, I thought was going to be a stud. Was an absolute bust. It's only been one season, though, so I don't want to say that word. But just wasn't good. But I think Bryce Young is going to prove a lot of doubters wrong this year. Yes, he's very short, but he has a very good, solid, accurate arm. Maybe not powerful in terms of power, throwing-wise, but I think he's fairly accurate. He understands the game. Is mobile enough to make plays with his legs, is mobile enough to make plays out of structure, and I think he's going to be very solid in the NFL. Jordan Love, he's right here in this area. I think Jordan Love is right here in this area. I'm a Packers fan, so I'm going to put him in front of C.J. Stroud, but I think you could definitely change these guys around. You could definitely throw Dak Prescott even behind these guys, but I'm going to leave Dak Prescott in front of them just because he's done it for more years. I think we need to see Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud both do it another full season. So for that reason, I'm going to leave them both at A tier right there. Deshaun Watson is C tier. He's okay. I take him over Derek Carr. But Deshaun Watson looked okay last year. Shown some flashes here and there. But clearly not the same dynamic player he once was for the Houston Texans. Hopefully next year he can rebound. But, what are the injuries on this guy? Is he even practicing anymore? I haven't really kept up to date with him, but I know there was a lot of injuries, or he was having a surgery or some sorts like that, or had a neck problem or a back problem. But hopefully he could get back to that dynamic player he once was for the Texans and do that for the Browns, because I thought he was one of the better quarterbacks when he was. Will Levis to me is B tier. I think Will Levis showed a lot to me. I love the grit he plays with. I love how physical he is as a quarterback. I love the demand he plays with in the offense. Deadly accurate, honestly, in the middle of the field when he's playing in rhythm. I'm not just saying he's deadly accurate, but when he's in rhythm, when he's able to get through his progressions, when the play, is not broken down and he has time to get through his reads, I think he was fairly accurate, really mobile, has all the intangibles you want from a franchise quarterback. I'm going to put him at B tier right now. Daniel Jones is C tier. I take Daniel Jones over Derek Carr, but I take Daniel Jones over Deshaun Watson. That's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of Daniel Jones haters, but when he was playing at his best, literally a year ago too, I thought he was fairly solid. Brock Purdy is A tier, and I put Brock Purdy in front of Kirk Cousins just because of age. I think Brock Purdy is a very good quarterback in the NFL. Maybe not the greatest in terms of arm power and talent, I mean, but he processes the game very well. Jameis Winston, C tier. I put him behind Derek Carr. I take Derek Carr in front of Jameis Winston. Patrick Mahomes, this guy, obviously the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. Oh, that was the best quarterback. I don't know why I said the greatest. The best quarterback in the NFL right now. Possibly could be the greatest quarterback once it's all said and done. This guy is on a crazy trajectory, in terms of GOAT status. Super, super young. The best player in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need much explanation. Jaden Daniels, rookies, I'm going to put him in front of Drake May. I like his situation better than Drake May. I think the Commanders are actually doing very well. They had one of the better off seasons this year, and I think he's, going to be set up for success if he could stay healthy. I want to see how he does taking these hits from these bigger players. He loves to endure these hits. Matt Stafford's A tier. He's at the top of the line. Matt Stafford is a baller. I just dropped my phone. But Matt Stafford is a fucking baller. Lot of respect for Matt Stafford. A soldier. This man's a soldier. Fights a lot of injuries. Old school gunslinger. Stays in the pocket. Quick, decisive. Not maybe the most athletic dude, but when he needs to, uses his legs. Could step outside the pocket, make those sidearm throws. Matt Stafford's just a baller, dude. In my opinion, in terms of experience, the quarterback I wouldn't want to play in the playoffs from the NFC would be Matt Stafford, just because he has the experience. He has the Super Bowl. He's been really, really good these last 2 years. And I hope they're able to run the ball more next year, keep this man more healthy, and get him to the playoffs fully healthy with not all these crazy injuries, lingering injuries. Russell Wilson, C tier. I thought he played really, really well last year. I might honestly put him at B tier. Yeah, B tier. I thought Russell Wilson played fairly solid last year. People will hate on Russell Wilson, but I thought he played well. Gardner Minshew is C tier. I take Gardner Minshew over Jameis Winston. Jared Goff, rightfully so, deserves to be behind Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud. Talent-wise, I think C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love are better. But Jared Goff's been doing it longer. You could definitely put him in front of them. But I think down the line, these two guys are going to be better than Jared Goff. Sam Howell, C tier. I take Sam Howell over Derek Carr. Hot take. That's just me. I don't think that's a hot take. Justin Fields, D tier. I don't think he's a great processor of the game. I think his legs are his best trait. But when you're able to stop him and when you're able to hit him, make him not really want to run the ball anymore, is not able to really sit in the pocket. I hope with the Steelers he's able to improve. I thought he was going to be really dynamic out of college, be a really good dual threat coming out of college, but just hasn't done it. Aiden O'Connell, I don't know, man. He's weird. C tier, I guess? Or C tier? Yeah, sure. Geno Smith. This guy to me is a B tier. I take him over Will Levis. I take Will Levis over him, actually. I think Geno Smith is B tier. Didn't have the best of seasons last year, but I mean that whole offense kind of took a slump. But I expect him to kind of bounce back. Joe Burrow, when healthy, rightfully so, is S tier. Honestly, I take a healthy Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson. I know Lamar Jackson has the 2 MVPs. But I think Joe Burrow, when he's healthy, when he's out there, he's more of a threat than a guy like Lamar Jackson. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, the most dynamic player in the NFL. But I think Joe Burrow, man, he just has what it takes to get you to the promised land. And we've seen it before. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl already, played the Rams, played that really experienced Rams team, lost. But, I mean, they played really good. Bo Nix, I think his situation is really well. I'd put Bo Nix' situation behind Jaden Daniels. J.J. McCarthy, dude, I mean, this guy has a really good chance to be really good. Has the best wide receiver in the NFL. Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, doesn't get better than that. Desmond Ritter's F tier. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is my rankings right here. These are my 5 guys, my 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. Those are my 5 guys in the NFL. And then a close 6th, man, is Matt Stafford. I'm a huge Matt Stafford fan. He's a fucking baller. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. This has been your boy Sports Culture. I'm out.